hard about what you want to be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up.
Welcome to Tales from the Field. We are back and better than ever. My name is Bradley Ball, and it is so good to have you with us. Last week, we were off for Thanksgiving. We had some great time with family, some great food, and we hope you did too. We dropped an MS Tech Bites on SQL Server internals and an introduction to ACID and transaction isolation levels. Our last live throw show was at Live 360. And Josh won, so he is the host today. You want to know what happened? Well, the show is posted at YouTube after the live stream, and you can check it out at your convenience. If you're finding this for the first time, head over to our YouTube, give us a like, and also give us a subscription, so that way you know when we're posting any of our new content. Want to interact with the show? It's easy. You can comment on our live streams. We are live streaming right now on YouTube. We're also on Twitter under the fields of Tales from the Field, SQL Balls, Josh Ludeman, Niraj Jafari, and also under SQL Balls over at LinkedIn. Any comments on those streams, and one of my wonderful co-hosts is going to look at those comments and add them to our show. And of course, before we go any further, let me introduce those co-hosts. I am joined by Andreas Padilla, Josh Ludeman, and you can call him the great one, but just don't call him late for dinner, the one, the only Mr. Niraj Jafari. Josh, you are hosting this week. What is our topic?
So our topic actually this week is, what are you thankful for?
Ooh.
I figured it'd be good and timely with the Thanksgiving holiday. What are we thankful for as a group?
I love it. Excellent. As if it couldn't get any better than that, we are joined by Niko Neugebauer, Senior Product Manager on the Azure SQL Managed Instance Product Group. For years, Niko was a Microsoft MVP, contributing to the community as a chapter leader, a prolific and amazing blogger. I don't care what you say, man. I think you're amazing. You presented at many international conferences, user group. He is also a poet and a philosopher. Niko, welcome to the show. Oh, there we go. It's another team's meeting. He's muted. You're on mute, Niko. Andreas, we have the World Cup going today. It is a big match for the USA. How do you think we're going to do?
Oh, I think we got a great shot. U.S. has finally got a team. Disappointing we didn't make it to the 2018 World Cup. We have a great team now. They're finally playing decent European soccer. So I think against the Iranians, we should dominate.
Football.
And we should get some, what was that?
Football.
Football. Yes, football. We
I was going to say,
put one in the back of the net. That's it. Yeah.
No. So it's interesting because in the pre-show we were talking, and Niko, you're actually rooting for Iran.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, I'm not. I am not a distant fan of Iran because their forward is playing for my favorite team, FC Porto. He's a principal forward, Mediterranean.
Well, and I was going to say, it's so amazing when you think about this World Cup, because you have this clash of not only a bit of nationalism where people are rooting for their own country, but you also have these players that play in the Premier League and many leagues across the world. And if you have a favorite player, if you have a favorite team, if they're playing for their home country, it's easy to be able to go, yep, that's my guy, rooting for that person as they're playing for their team. And it's a really amazing international wrinkle. I'll be honest, I hope that we're going to do great today. I have a lot of faith in the USA team. I would love to see them advance. But in the past, when the U.S. has not advanced, I go and I start looking at the teams that I like and the players that I follow in other leagues, and that ends up being who I would root for in past World Cups. So very, very interesting nuance to it. So Josh, as the host this week, what are the rules?
So the rules, like any other week, first of all, I want to set the first rule, the most important rule. I'm not going to disqualify.
Oh, we should be finally.
No.
I feel like it
agree.
was fun at first, but it's gotten a little out of control. So no
Unacceptable.
disqualifications.
You know what?
I want to be disqualified.
Way to go, Josh.
Okay. Here's the last disqualification in Tales from the Field. Niko, you're disqualified from earning points this week. So the reason that's so easy to disqualify Niko is because actually rule number 1 is the host and the guest are disqualified from earning points, first of all. So we'll actually be giving points to Brad, Niraj, and Andres based off of what we feel, how we feel about their responses to the topic this week, which is, again, what are you thankful for?
And our good buddy Dan Taylor has sounded in. He is thankful for having a role on a good team and special slots to those who are out there looking for positions. Absolutely. We did some previous shows where we talked about interviewing advice, looking at things that were going to be coming up. I remember we had Jess Schultz on and we talked about that, different advice that we have for people. We carried that over, and I remember Niraj had some great tips that he threw out as well in our community roundtable. But absolutely, there's a lot to be thankful for as we look at this topic. And another post that he's got, Tyler Adams. Tyler Adams is a great leader and the captain that is making the U.S. team great. He really is. We're all super proud of Tyler Adams and the work that he and Team USA have been doing. So we're hopeful. Again, we're all going to be. I've actually got my iPad sitting right here, and it is silenced, and I've got it streaming Hulu, and it's plugged in and charging. So when we hit 2:00, no matter what, I'll be able to look down and see.
That's what side monitors are for.
Nice.
Joshua, I'm just imagining Bradley is going like, and now I would like to.
Yep. Oh, I'm sorry. What's that?
Yep.
Like,
don't worry. It's a Sephora commercial right now, and having been dragged into Sephora a couple times, I'm thankful I'm not there right now. Sorry. So, Niko, a few weeks ago, we had the past summit. There were 14 different amazing announcements for SQL Managed Instance. The team has been busy at work. We have a host of these amazing announcements. Can you tell us about them?
No, it's not a dance. Wouldn't try, but I'm trying to show with 2 hands 14 announcement. I was struggling with that as usually. So my team has been working quite hard and for quite a long time, actually, delivering this stuff. We introduced the possibility, we call it No More Hotel California. We are the PaaS service that you can check in and you can check out. And that means that you can take a backup from managed instance and you can restore on the SQL Server 2022 right away. If you migrate to our offering, you're not limited anymore. Even more, with the disaster recovery with MI Link, you can now, this feature, I need to warn that it's a preview with a sign up, but by the time you probably view it, it's already been quite a public preview, or maybe even GA, who knows. You can do not only fail to managed instance, you can do an online failover back to SQL 2022.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
This is a major feature.
And so that's going to be specifically with SQL Server 2022, which went GA 2 weeks ago on Wednesday. So as of tomorrow, we'll be 2 weeks into the GA of SQL Server 2022. And we have the capability GA now to be able to back up a managed instance, a copy-only backup from a managed instance, and restore it to a SQL Server 2022 instance, which people have been wanting forever to be able to take their stuff, bring it on-prem, maybe put it in a development environment or something like that. And we now have that capability. And so with the MI Link preview announcement, sorry.
No, we have invested quite a lot in BCDR, and there have been some amazing feature. Actually, one of the things one of the announcements we noticed a lot of interest from the customers was that you can now run the failover groups, and you will not be charged for the SQL Server licensing on a passive standby replica. So for GeoDR scenarios, we expect an explosive adoption because customers will be charged by the compute, by the, of course, the data that will be transferred and the storage, because you have the copy of the primary. But the most expensive part, we're taking it away. So customers in preview can now specify even different licensing for their primary and secondary. And automatically, as you do the failovers, we will assume and charge you as per your primary. So let's say you have an AHub for the secondary and have a pay-as-you-go on the primary. Once you do the failover, you will be charged by the AHub conditions, not by pay-as-you-go.
Oh, that's saving.
So there's not a condition like on-prem. There used to be a condition if you fill over for a certain amount of time. So it's really based off of where you are. You're paying your licensing for wherever your primary is. And so it doesn't matter which location you are. You're saving that licensing cost no matter what.
You're saving your secondary license no matter what. And because it's cloud, no matter, it's... we do charge you as per consumption of your primary. That's a big news, and we even noticed on the visits on the announcement, this was one that has got a lot of traction. Of course, besides the fast. Go ahead.
I was going to say a true tale from the field. I was working with a customer this morning. That's already featured in the Azure calculator. And when we were pricing out their failover cluster for their geo secondary, that was an option that we could select. They didn't realize that. And I said, nope, go hit that option button right there. That removes the licensing cost. And that's what you're going to have moving forward. And that immediately made an impact on what they were able to see. And I mean, just fantastic stuff. And again, not only did we announce it, but it's rolled out through the different things like the Azure calculator to be able to make sure that customers can, as they're planning, take advantage of this.
But it's kind of like we have a running gag in the product group, which is pretty interesting. We invested so much right now into saving customers money. We introduced in the preview the start-stop functionality. So you can pause, we call it start-stop, but you can call it pause and resume. You can pause the managed instance with the November 2022 feature wave and then resume it. And the times we are expecting in the preview is 5 minutes for stopping and 20 minutes for starting, with the scheduler already embedded into the portal. So you do not have to use some external tool. You can go and schedule program it. You can use the API, PowerShell, CLI, whatever you want to schedule that. It's we saving money for the customers, and some people are scared by that.
That's a big one, right? And that's a big ask from most of the customers that you have on SQL MI, right? I mean, pause and start. So that's definitely a big.
I know personally, one of the things I do. Oh no, go ahead.
No. Randy,
go
ahead.
I was going to say personally, I make a lot of use out of the serverless databases for demo databases that I use for different customer functionality to be able to save the money. I've got to manage instances up and running all the time. For my dev test subscription, that is perfect, because when we're not using it, I'm going to pause that. And that allows me to be able to save on that compute.
It's it will be a huge thing for us, and also I think it's worth also mentioning this one. We have largely improved the provisioning of the first instance, and it's the start of the journey. But instead of 4 to 6 hours that customers saw, they should be starting seeing for certain configurations and the requirements that are described, like 4 to 8 CPU vCores, a standard series, empty subnet, and default maintenance window. These are the 4 requirements. You can get around 30 minutes provisioning of managed instance and it's a start. We will be improving other aspects as well. So all the CRUD operations are to be improved in the nearest future.
30
Nice.
minutes is massive. That is a huge performance improvement. Oh my goodness. So Dan has had a couple wonderful comments on here. I expect to see managed instance adoption increase for dev test staging with the start stem functionality. Absolutely. I think that that's going to be a great place for us to be able to introduce that to customers. Damu has a really great question. Can the managed instance be used instead of SQL options in Synapse Analytics? I'm not sure I quite understand the full context of that, how you're looking at utilizing that, because Synapse Analytics is, of course, going to be an MPP scale-out engine. There's specific use cases for that, whereas the managed instance is going to be an SMP. We can scale that up, but it doesn't have the MPP multiple node functionality. Niraj, did you have something to add?
I think what he's trying to say is maybe instead of a dedicated SQL or a serverless SQL, can he replace it with a managed instance? As of now, I don't think so, because it's two different things, right? I mean, as you said, SMP versus MPP.
Absolutely. I think as long as we focus. Oh, go ahead, Niko.
I would just point that the serverless pools were developed in the Microsoft Development Center Serbia, where the managed instance is being developed. And we do, as some of you might know, we do share our intellectual property with, for example, ADLS virtualization, which we have in GA, the capability of reading data from blob storage and Azure Data Lake storage. It's the same functionality which was developed for serverless pools and is already in GA for managed instance, and it is in SQL Server 2022. So I'm not saying that we will one day introduce something, but who knows? There is a potential.
Like I love the way that we work at Microsoft. We are always growing. We are always pushing forward. We're always coming out with new features and new inventions and the way to be able to just make life better. The PaaS services that we have today are not the PaaS services that we had 4 years ago. I mean, it's drastic in comparison to the wonderful features and capabilities we have. Damu, thank you so much. He said that was my question. Hey, thank you for watching and thank you for asking. We really appreciate you out there. No, it's a great stuff, Niko. What else do we have? Anything else that we want to make sure and cover? There's so many great things. There was an announcement post that I saw Barco did. I apologize, I am missing that URL, but I'll find that URL and I'll make sure that we add that onto the YouTube comments, and we'll pin that to the top so people can find that and go read about everything that we dropped at the PaaS Summit.
So
Niko,
I can
if
drop
you have a
more
link,
stuff. Go ahead.
no, Niko, if you have that, you said 14 announcements were made. If you have some link for that, maybe we can drop it up along with the show.
Sure. Need to look it up. Not too difficult.
No worries. I'll grab that after the show and I'll put that on YouTube in the chat. But I think that's going to be the Borco blog on TechNet Community.
That's what we call post-production in the business.
I wanted to highlight some things that our customers have been asking. For example, now you can do the cross-subscription point-in-time restore for your databases. You can copy and move your databases between different managed instances. And instead of just a snapshot copy and move, what we provide is we use the MI link, the same technology, under the hood. So you start replicating the database, and it's active replication. And then you can decide when you do the cutoff. So you start replicating, it's being replicated, it's been kept intact, and then you say now, and then the database is being, the cutoff, and you have a copy, or it's being cut off, and then the original is deleted. So it's a move operation. This one, especially for ISVs who are like, I want to rebalance my server, or this customer needs to be moved to a more premium offering, you can do it very easily.
That's incredible. So underneath the covers, that's not using, say, the long-term storage recovery to do the point in time. That's doing that's using the MI link to be able to essentially use always on availability groups kind of conceptual technologies to be able to seed that database, get that up and running, and then you pick the point in time you want to stop. Oh, that's amazing. That's really, really cool. And Damu has another great question. So when you run managed instance, is SSAS an option similar to on-prem or only Azure Analysis Services? That one's going to be only Azure Analysis Services. If you need multi-dimensional models, that's going to be a virtual machine that we need to go to. The SQL Managed Instance is going to be the SQL OS and the SQL Server Engine components itself. Now, you can run the SSIS database on there in conjunction with Azure Data Factory if you want to house your packages in there. And there are great links and articles on how to do that. But SSAS is completely its own service within Azure. Or again, if you want to use multidimensional and not tabular, you're going to need a virtual machine for that. Great question.
Managed Instance provides only the SQL Server relational service. But we do host the master data services catalogs, integration services catalogs, and reporting services catalogs on managed instance, but only databases, not the service itself. For that, you, as Bradley said, you will need to have a separate VM or a gateway or something.
Absolutely.
So this is all great stuff. Niko, is there additional things you wanted to talk about from the releases at PASS, or did we hit them all?
One last thing.
Yep.
No, we didn't. It's been so many. I'll hit the zone redundancy. This one is really great because so it's actually interesting fact. By default, out of the box, we provide 4 nines SLA for high availability. That's higher than any of our competitors with the highest offers they can throw. So now we have introduced the zone redundancy. So for the hero regions, for the regions that support multiple availability zones, customers, for starting with the business critical service tier, but we hope next year to support general purpose as well, they can place different replicas between different availability zones. So we will provide 4 nines and a half. So our unmatched offer will get even better.
That's incredible.
Like SQLDB, we will provide 4 nines and a half for high availability, and there has been quite a strong interest and demand from a lot of customers.
That's interesting.
No, that's amazing. So for the folks out there who don't know, an availability zone within Azure is specifically we have paired data centers within specific Azure regions that offer availability zones. And essentially think of it like we have an always-on availability group doing synchronous replication to another data center. And if for some reason we were to lose one data center region, then that would automatically fail over to another. You wouldn't notice that outage. So for example, the South Central data center outage that we had way back in 2018, that wouldn't have happened if that had been in an availability zone. And we were already rolling out that technology at that point in time. And that was something that, specifically made us go, yep, this is going to be a really key thing moving forward for us to be able to have. So do you have backups included in MI, or does it have to be its own agent for native backups? Great question. The backups are included. There's a default backup term that is said, but you can extend that. So if you're a law firm or a doctor's office, hospital, any type of healthcare provider, and you need to have like some type of legal requirement to keep X number of years of backups on hand, you can use long-term storage to be able to do that. And then that long-term storage is available for you to be able to do restores on other instances. Correct, Niko?
Yep. Even right now, we do support the cross subscription restores. So if you're running a tenant with multiple subscriptions, like most major companies do, by basically grouping the subscription per application, this will be supported. I just wanted to ramble a little bit on the regions, on the availability zones. So for those who do not know, the availability zones is basically within the same region, let's say US East or US or West or some different, doesn't really matter. You have physically separated buildings with its own support, with their own networking, with its own power support. So if one goes down, the other is running. It's independent, unless there is a region disaster, and in this case you need the failover groups to recover. But from an inavailability in one part of the data center with this zone redundancy, it will be a lifesaver for a lot of customers.
Wow, there's so much there, right? So we've pasted the link in the chat, but again, I'm going to go and I'm going to make sure I pin that. That's going to be in the comments of the YouTube show. So anybody rewatching this, just head on down to those comments. You'll be able to get that link and be able to get that. Niko, that was amazing. I absolutely love it. Thank you, good, and thank you to the Managed Instance Product Group for all of the hard work that went into these innovations that are announced, that are capabilities that we're going to be able to give our customers. It's so fantastic.
Great, thank you.
Hats off to all of you.
We'll be reached out to my colleagues, but it's not only the product team, it's the engineering managers, and the leadership. It's when you see Niko is just talking. There are dozens of people working on design, on pricing. It's a huge structure, and please reach. If you meet somebody from the MI team, no matter who they are, please raise a cup for them. They do an amazing job.
Well done. Yes, thank you to the engineers, to the people working behind the scenes. It's because of your hard work that we get to move forward and build these solutions, and customers get to utilize them to run their production workloads on. It is because of your work that we get to do this. Fantastic. All right. So Josh, you want to head this off? We'll do a lightning round real quick.
Absolutely. Lightning round of what you're thankful for. Niraj, you're up.
Thanks, Josh. I'm definitely thankful for the product group for this whole managed instance things. Niko, thanks for also coming to the show. Overall, one thing that I definitely want to bring up, which my wife made me see a show by Oprah Winfrey. She said, be thankful for what you have, and that will always give you more things to come in, and don't be unthankful for things that you don't have. You'll always repent on things in future. So I'm thankful for the family that I have, the kids, the parents who made sure that I get good education, come to US. Definitely thankful for them. Thanks to the Tales from the Field colleagues and my friends, and all the guests who come up there. Right? I mean, I'm greatly thankful for all the people I've met from last 6 months, right? From Tales from the Field, learning all this stuff. And definitely to Microsoft for the job that we have, the amazing things that we keep on doing, and learning every day and out.
Outstanding, Niraj. Well
Beautiful.
done. Well done. That's beautiful.
Brad, what about you?
So I'll be honest. Niraj took so many good things. I'm going to try and think of something different. The first thing I'm going to comment on is I am thankful that we're pausing the disqualifications, because I was disqualified a lot. I'm very thankful that moving into the new year, I won't be disqualified. The other thing I'm thankful for is at Live 360, there was a luau video that Josh took, and it was me and Thomas Rock up there dancing on stage. And I am thankful that we did not post that video.
Oh, we should see that.
Yeah.
You sure you want to be thankful for that, my friend?
Wait,
Are you sure?
Wait. We're going to post that video?
Yeah, buddy.
Then in that case, I'm just very thankful for my family and it's Tales from the Field.
That's the right thing to be thankful for. I would say, with such colleagues and friends, you need to be thankful for your family, Brad.
I do. Yeah, and I'm very thankful for them. Oh, negative.
Yeah, I'll give you 100 points, Brad, for actually thinking you had a prayer that video was not getting posted.
Okay.
Because it was cute. You thought that was an option.
Yeah, thank you.
Andres, what do you have, my friend?
Oh wow! So you guys took out some of the ones off the top of my head. I'm going to go a little bit tech, then I'm going to go sports, then I'm going to go family. And I think I will win. I'm pretty sure. I'm confident I can win this. Tech wise, super thankful for everything the storage account team is doing. If you guys watch right now at the end of the year and then calendar year 23, the amount of work they're putting into scalability, replication, data protection, just a ton of new features are coming out. Customer initiated account conversions from LRS, GRS to zone redundant storage. Bam, I can do that. Coming up. Cross-region migrations coming out. Customer managed account failovers. That's a much needed feature, especially if you're working in any DR scenario. Hey, I want to be able to test out the data that's in my data lake, and I want to do customer account managed failovers. Versioning and hierarchical namespaces coming out. ABAC, attribute-based access control. Man, just the list comes out. Like, I don't know where they find the time to do all this, but 2023 is going to be a big time, game changer for storage accounts. Now to sports, that the U.S. has a shot to get to the next round. We have it. We just got to play consistent, defensive, and then just put one in the back of the net. That's all. And I know we can get there. Now, the family. I have something, I think, over you guys that you guys went through that I have. My kids are at 5 and 2-year-olds. I am still the hero of the house. I am the hero. Anything that I say, I'm the superhero. So I'm thankful for being in that spot in time with my kids. You guys probably gravitated out of that scenario, so I'm thankful.
No, dude, you hit me right in the heartstrings. Oh yeah, that's beautiful, man. I think about when my kids are little. I used to, like, my 6'5", big guy. I remember when he was my little dude, and I just carry him in my arms. Wow, 100 points for that. I mean, heck, you deserve more. That's beautiful, Andres.
Your kids wait for the Santa Claus to come in. Our kids don't. They don't like. They're like, who cares?
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love Christmas morning when kids come around the corner and they get to see what Santa's left. It's just, as a parent, you're just filled with so much joy watching. And it's always the thing you didn't expect that they love more than anything, that you're like, oh, so that's what they really love. And it's fantastic. Yeah. So Andreas is the winner with 200 points. Way to go, Andreas. Well done, sir.
Thank you to the select committee on Tales from the Field for making me the winner.
But I'm sorry to interrupt. Bradley, you promised me that you will disqualify him right at the end. What about that?
Oh, no, I can't do that. I'm not the host. And as Josh said, he made the blanket rule. No more disqualifications. Andreas is safe. He lives another day.
This is embarrassing for you.
Another day.
For me, it's very embarrassing for me. I'm sorry, Niko. I let you down.
No, you're not.
I was gonna say whenever my good friend Buck Woody always says, Bradley, I need you to be at my funeral, so that way you can let me down one more time. And I told him, don't worry, Buck, I can do that. All right. Sorry.
Nice.
Anyway,
That's
so
fine.
Andreas is the winner. Thursday, we've got our roundtable, our community roundtable. Bob Ward will be joining us for our community roundtable. So excited for this. Way to go. That absolutely, Dan Taylor, Santa Claus is real, kiddos. He absolutely is. He is.
He is.
And Andreas is the winner. Goal, Andreas. Yes. Way to go, buddy. All right. I don't think there's anything else for us to cover. Come and check us out on Thursday, and we will have some live 360 content drops. We don't have the date on that specifically yet. Apparently the luau is going to be one of those. Gentlemen, anything else that we can think of?
I just wanted to say to the viewers for the about the video coming out from the luau, you're welcome. In advance, you're welcome.
Josh did record
You're
that.
welcome. There you go. Little Moana for Brad. You're welcome.
You're welcome. Yeah, I do love my favorite all-time musical.
Josh, are you missing the live 360 announcement that you keep on doing?
I am. It's like bad withdrawal right now. It hurts my heart. I'm just trying to get through.
Look, don't worry. Live 360 is coming to us next year, and we have the dates for it. So maybe we just start plugging that away here pretty soon.
Yes.
That's right. And this time we all submit. So maybe the whole Tales from the Field team will be live from Live 360. Oh, I think that'd be a wonderful goal for 2023.
Yes. I agree.
Maybe?
Bradley, talk to your manager about it. I'm just saying.
That sounds like a plan.
I don't know. He's kind of a jerk.
You're not wrong. All right. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
See you, everybody.
Ciao, people.